In today's notes, you're going to be modeling with quadratic functions. Now this first sheet is just a handout with steps to get you through. Step 1, you are going to be given 3 points. These 3 points are going to be on a U-shaped graph. You don't have to plot them, but they would be on a U-shaped graph. You will need to plug those 3 points in for x and y and ax squared, and y equals. And y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. You'll plug in for x, you'll plug in for x, and you'll plug in for y. You might be able, when you plug these in, you might get an answer. If so, you're going to skip to a step, but I don't know what step it is. I'll figure it out. You will need to solve for one of the variables, which will be a, b, or c, in one of the 3 equations. You're going to substitute what you get in step 3 when you solve for one of the variables into the other 2 equations from step 2. This will now make your 3 equations down to 2 equations. We've done this. You take 3 equations, 3 variables, and make it down to 2 equations, 2 variables. Step 5. Use linear combination just like we used to last chapter, or substitution to solve for one of the variables in the last step. So we went to 3 equations with 3 variables to 2 equations with 2 variables to 1 equation with 1 variable. Number 6, once you get the answer from step 5, substitute that back into one of the equations from step 4. So if you have, let's see, down here in step 6, you're going to go to step 6 here. So put a 6 in that blank. Flip over. 7. You should now have 2 answers, one from step 5 and one from step 6. You don't have to, but I find it easiest to take those and plug them back into the equation from step 3. You should now be all done. Write your equation as a quadratic, and y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And now you're going to fill in for a, b, and c, and you're all done. Go back over. I was clever. This should be 3a. Looks like I made you a new set of directions. So go to step 3a. And then just follow along. It's pretty much the same steps. You're going to go from having an answer and you'll plug back in. 6a is the same thing. You'll finish it and y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. But that's just if you get an answer at the very beginning. If you don't get an answer from the very beginning, go to normal step 3. If you do get an answer at the very beginning, go to step 3a. Let's start with problem 1. A parabola has these points, 0, 0, -1, -2, 1, and 1, 6. What's the equation? You could plot those points. They'd form some type of U, or at least they'd be on a U. Now before we do that, we're just going to make sure that we are referencing our steps from the previous video. So if you didn't copy those, go copy those. The video was 4.3 beginning. Alright, let's go ahead and follow the steps. Step 1, you will be given 3 points. Yep. Step 2, you will need to plug those 3 points in for x and y. Alright, let's do x, y, x, y, x, y in each one. Now notice none of these say they're the vertex, so we can't make that assumption. Alright, break your paper up into 3 mini little sections. This is step number 2 from this sheet if you're concerned about labeling steps. Here we go. We do y equals, and if you want just a little reminder, y equals ax squared plus bx plus c up here so you have something to reference. Here we go. First point, 0, 0. So 0 equals a times 0 squared plus b times 0 plus c. Notice I replaced every x with a 0 and every y with a 0. Well, that says 0 equals, you guys know 0 times a is 0, 0 times b is 0. 0 equals c. Look at that. You have an answer. Next, plug in -1, -2. Okay, well this is x and this is y. So y equals, we do -2 equals ax squared, so a times -1 squared, plus bx, so b times -1, plus c. Work it through. -2 equals, -1 squared is a positive 1, so 1a or just a, minus b, because negative 1, plus c. That one's not solved. We'll save that one for later. That one still has 3 variables. All right, next point, 1, 6. Remember, that's x, y. So we do y equals 6 equals ax squared, so a times 1 squared, plus bx, so b times 1, plus c. 6 equals 1a, or just a, plus 1b, or just b, plus c. All right, now I'm going to go and follow my steps. I did get lucky, so I did get an answer, so I'm going to skip to step 3a. 3a, plug that value into the 2 other equations and make those equations have only 2 variables. All right, here I go. So if you're following, this was step number 2, and because this was a special case, I'm going to follow steps from 3a. 3a said to take that answer. The answer was c equals 0. Plug it into the other 2. So I'll just kind of plug them in underneath. Negative 2 equals a minus b plus 0, and then 6 equals a plus b plus 0. I just made c 0. That's negative 2 equals a minus b, and then 6 equals a plus b. Okay, go to step 4a. Use linear combination or substitution to solve for a variable in the last step. I'm going to look at these. These look like they're going to line up nice for linear combo. The b's are going to cancel as they are. So I'm just going to rewrite them. This is step number 4a if you're following your sheet. That's negative 2 equals a minus b. 6 equals a plus b. Look how I'm lining them up because the b's cancel. That is 4 equals 2a. Divide a equals 2. I like to put a star by my answers so I don't lose them. Step 5a. You should now have 2 answers. We do, a and c. Substitute them back into one of the original equations from step 2. Alright, so here are my original equations from step 2. I'll plug these things in. Honestly, you could just take this though and plug it in to 6 equals a plus b, which I'm going to do. So this is step 5a. You don't have to write the steps out, but I know some people like them. So that's 6 equals a plus b. But remember, we solved for a, and a is 2. So 6 equals 2 plus b. 4 equals b. Last thing we do is we write our final answer. That would be step 6a if you're concerned. And your final answer, you fill in a, b, and c. So y equals, instead of a, I found a was 2, x squared, plus bx. Well, instead of b, I found that b was 4. So 4x. Plus c, I found that c was 0, so I'm not even going to bother. This is the final answer in standard form. I'm going to continue to move on to problem 2 in this video. Use a quadratic model. Notice we have a basketball player shooting a hoop. Okay, and this is an upside down parabola. You can kind of see the shape going upside down. That should indicate to you, since it's going upside down, a better be negative when you solve. A had better be negative when you solve, since this is upside down. Alright, I've got 1, 2, 3 different points. It says a player throws a basketball towards the hoop. If the basketball follows the parabolic path, parabolic just means the parabola, through the points as shown. I'll deal with the second question here in a little bit. Let's figure out what the equation is. Alright, so I'm going to take 3 points, 2, 10. I'm going to take the next point, 4, 12. I'm going to make the next point, 10, 12. We're going to plug that in. Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. This one right here, remember x and y, x and y, x and y. Let's plug it in. By the way, that was step number 1, 3 points. Step number 2. Y equals, so 10 equals a times x squared, so 2 squared, plus b times x, so b times 2 plus c. Let's simplify. 10 equals 4a plus 2b plus c. Let's keep going on to the next equation. Y equals 12 equals ax squared, so a times 4 squared, plus b times x, so b times 4, plus c. Let's simplify. 12 equals 16a plus 4b plus c. Let's keep moving on. Y equals, so 12 equals a times x squared plus b times x, so we have b times 10, a times 10 squared, b times 10, plus c. Simplify. 12 equals 100a plus 10b plus c. Let's go to step 3 now. Step 3. You will need to solve for one of the variables, a, b, or c, in one of the 3 equations. I'm going to look at these 3 equations, and none of them are very easy, so I'll just pick the first one, and I'll solve it for c. So if you want to write that down, you can. Just first equation for c. Here we go. 10 minus 4a minus 2b equals c. I just took 4a and 2b over. They both become negative. All right. I like to circle this. Step 4. Step 4. Substitute what you got in step 3 into the 2 other equations. All right, this is where I'm going to kind of clear it out because it's going to get a little confusing. So I'm going to take this circle and I'm going to plug it in here and here. I'm going to use, keep an eye on it. I'll try to zoom in so it stays a little clearer for you. All right, so I'm going to have 12 equals 16a plus 4b plus c. Now remember, we solved for c, so I'm going to write 10 minus 4a minus 2b. Let's combine our like terms. 12 equals a total of 12 a's, a total of 2 b's, and then the additional 10 at the end. Let's simplify one more time. Taking the 10 over. 2 equals 12a plus 2b. Let's keep working. Let's go to the next side, and let me move the camera. Okay. Plug it in for c here too. 12 equals 100a plus 10b plus, remember what we got for c. We got 10 minus 4a minus 2b. Simplify. 12 equals 96a plus 8b plus 10. Take the 10 over. 2 equals 96a plus 8b. Alright, so we're done with step 4. We got to move on to step 5. Use linear combination or substitution, your choice, to solve for one of the variables from the last step. These are my 2 equations. I would have to say that the b's are going to cancel out easier. If I multiplied this equation by -4, the b's are going to cancel out. So I'm just going to write that real lightly. I'm going to draw an arrow so I know what I'm doing with it. And I'm going to get -8 equals -48 minus 8b. And I'm going to bring this one over here down underneath. 2. 2 equals 96a, I missed my a, plus 8b. Cancel them out. -48 and 96 makes 48a. -8 and 2 makes -6. When you divide, you should notice that a equals -6 over 48. And I'm hoping you all can reduce that to -1/8. Very difficult, very small number. Now that we're done with step 5, we're going to move to step 6. Step 6. Once you get the answer from step 5, substitute that back into one of the equations from step 4. Alright, I pick this one, well, because it's here. No, let's pick this one because it has an 8, and I know that's going to work out easier. So let's go back down to step 6 and write this down so we don't have to keep moving the paper. 2 equals 96a plus 8b. Let's go ahead and plug in negative 1/8. 2 equals 96 times negative 1 over 8 plus 8b. Okay, I don't have my calculator. 2 equals 96 divided by 1 over 8. Let me take a look. $12. 96 divided by 8 is 12, and this one's a negative 12 plus 8b. Add 12, 14 equals 8b. Divide, that's 14 over 8. Never forget to reduce. That's 7 over 4. Step 7. Take these two answers and go back from step, I like to go back to step 3. And we're going to plug it in. Okay, there's that if you didn't see it. We're going to take this one and this one and go all the way up to step 3. Alright, and this is step 7. We're getting kind of crowded. 10 minus 4 times a. Well, remember for a, we got negative 1 over 8. Minus 2 times b equals c. Work all of that out, and c is actually going to be a pretty nice number, but remember for b, we got 7 over 4. Work all of that out, you'll get a nice number. C is actually 7. Let's rewrite it all put together. Number 8. We get y equals negative 1 over 8x squared, because we replace a, plus 7 over 4x plus 7. This is in standard form. This is your equation. Of course, you might think you're done, but we have to read the question. It says, if the center of the hoop is at 12:10, will the ball pass through the hoop? If the center of the hoop is at 12:10, will the ball pass through the hoop? Well, remember, 12 is x, y is 10. So we're going to plug x in. So here we go. Let's check if 12:10 works. So let's plug in 12. Y equals negative 1 over 8 times 12 squared plus 7 over 4 times 12 plus 7. Take a moment, put it in your calculator. Negative 1 over 8, 12 squared, plus 7 over 4, 12, plus 7. See how the answer is 10? See how y equals 10? We can say yes. It will, in fact, pass through the hoop because 12:10 is a point.